I'm the Gentleman Wake, and in this episode we take an in-depth look at the next highly anticipated Kickstarter campaign from friend of the channel, collaborator and master artist and designer Lorenzo Gaggiotti, The Eye of the Ocean from Stockholm 17. Plus, we'll be giving away not one but two prototype Eye of the Ocean decks, so make sure to stay tuned for that. Plus, I announced the winner of the Iron Man playing cards from Card Mafia. And remember, for the best in cinematic reviews, like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. So here we are, just about 3 years since the first time I previewed a Stockholm 17 Kickstarter project on this channel. And in that span, we've had quite a bit of growth. Had a few successful Kickstarter campaigns ourselves and made some improvements to the overall look and feel of the channel. But alas, the more things change, the more they stay the same, which in this case is absolutely fine by me. It was thanks to that video 3 years ago that I built a relationship with designer Lorenzo Gaggiotti, and as a result of that relationship, we ended up collaborating on the Parlor deck, and well, the rest is history. So when Lorenzo let me know that he'd be sending along his latest work for an exclusive look, an ambitious and interactive multimedia project entitled The Eye of the Ocean, I was 100% on board. Featuring 3 unique standard edition variants, the Blue Solis, the Aquamarine Lunae, and the black and gold gilded Astra Solaris, as well as an ultra limited to 300 Quartermaster Edition, this campaign is really much more than just a deck of playing cards. You see, Lorenzo and co-authors Sarah Lilly and Sanam Akram, 2 UK-based writers, have adapted the lore behind this deck into an archeo-fantasy story that, well, when done, will span 2 volumes, the first of which will be made available as part of this upcoming campaign. I've actually read a bit of that novella, and I'm going to share my details with you on it in a little bit. But on top of the story, the novel, in conjunction with the decks, is also an integral part to a unique interactive puzzle designed to appeal to the casual detectives among the backer community, complete with a special prize for the first one to solve it. I'll have a few spoiler-free clues in a bit as well. As you can see, this is a unique offering, and as far as I can tell, it's never been done before. I've never heard of a playing card campaign built around the inclusion of a novel. It's certainly an ambitious offering and a quite laborious one. It's been well over a year in the making. Alright, so first things first, let's take a look at the decks. These are the Lunae and Solis editions of the Eye of the Ocean. I should note that these are of course prototypes, and although the final editions will certainly be very similar, they will assuredly be improved. The tuck boxes will be printed on premium paper and will feature deep foil embossing. Gold for the Solis, which of course means sun, and silver for the Lunae, aka the moon. The tuck boxes are also irregularly shaped and feature beautiful die-cut patterning and details, as well as a gorgeously unique tuck flap that tucks into a large cutout that reveals the card backs within. The tuck boxes on the 2 editions are very similar with some important differences. The Solis edition features a gold foil sun on blue background on the front, while the Lunae substitutes a silver foil moon over aquamarine background. Both celestial bodies are at the center of a zodiac calendar. There are some Italian script elements on the top of both tucks. The die-cut opening are also different from tuck to tuck. On the back of each tuck box, the differences continue, with the Solis featuring a gold foil trident, presumably a representation of the Greek god of the sea, Triton's trident. The Lunae edition substitutes a key-like device, the Codex, which will feature during the campaign and story in other ways. The tuck boxes will be printed by Oath Playing Cards, and the cards are slated to be produced by Cardamundi. The interior of each box features a gorgeous sized up and embellished illustration of the design found on the card backs. A 2-dimensional drawing of the Triton's iris, a fictional navigational device that plays heavily into the deck's lore and the novel's story. It's given an old world parchment rendering style that echoes the naval charts and maps of bygone eras. The Eye of the Ocean story is set during the year 1776, as alluded to on the tuck case. To many Americans out there, that year has a marked significance, as of course the year of US independence. But this story revolves around a mysterious island instead, one that sails itself around the ocean, never in the same spot for too long. All of this will be explored in depth within the pages of the novel associated to the campaign, but the ideas, the nautical themes, the charts, the maps, it all permeates the artwork in really a very intricate and exquisite way, starting with the card backs. The card backs are a gorgeous, if unusual, layout not traditionally seen, which is a nice change of pace. The main forms are a double pentagonal shape and the mirror edges of a semicircular compass-like navigational tool that within the lore is called Triton's Iris, the name clearly referencing the eye-like shape created by the linework, complete with iris and pupil. Both editions include a slim poker-style border that continues the parchment feel found around the inner tuck case design. Although my prototype decks include printed silver and gold, the final editions will actually use Cartamundi's proprietary cold foil in gold and silver respectively, which will make for fantastic and eye-catching card backs. The corners of the design give a peek to an underlying map image below, complete with tiny ships and colored coastlines. Before we get to the faces on the cards, which are shared by all of the editions, let's discuss the third unlimited deck, the black and gold Astra Polaris variant. For one thing, the tuck box printed on black matte cardstock is designed to appear even more like an aged and incomplete dilapidated artifact, with larger cutaways and an entire corner of the box missing. This has the added effect of showing off an added feature of the deck: textured gold gilded edges. The tuck features a bit more embossing, including a white star in the center rather than the sun and moon seen in the previous iterations. The tuck box interior features a beautiful gold foil embossed weaving pattern and a tuck flap closure that features a slightly differing design, showing off fragments of a gold foil embossed map. The words "Si sedis non is" emblazoned below. Those particular words, a Latin saying that when read left to right translates into "if you sit, you do not go," is actually a quasi-palindrome, meaning the words can be read in either direction, whether left to right or right to left. However, the words do change if the order is flipped. In this case, that has the particularly cool effect of actually flipping the sentiment of the saying. "If you sit, you do not go" into "if you do not sit, you go." A great ambiguity, especially when you consider that the narrative behind the Eye of the Ocean adventure is, will the hero discover the island or won't they? As for the card backs, these cards will have a gold cold foil border as seen on previous Lorenzo designs like the Parlor Black and Gold and Dynastine editions. The center Triton's Iris will of course also be in cold foil. There's yet a fourth edition of the deck I previously mentioned, the Quartermaster Edition. Limited to only 300, 120 of these decks were already exclusively made available to patrons of Stockholm 17 through his Patreon page. You can see the edition I'm reviewing here is hand numbered and signed by Lorenzo, number 88. The remaining 180 Quartermaster decks will be made available during the Kickstarter campaign, and you can be sure that they will sell out quickly, as demand is likely to far outstrip the supply. The Quartermaster Edition has a few key differences, most notably the tuck box, which features a gorgeous wraparound map design. And although the design of the tucks on the other editions is breathtaking, this is undoubtedly my favorite one. The second pronounced difference is on the back of the box, which in turn is echoed on the card backs themselves. The design is here rendered in the same monochromatic parchment style as seen on the Quartermaster box, with some additional details altered. For one thing, each corner substitutes an octopus in place of the small map fragments seen on the other card backs. Additionally, the center iris of the design features a compass rose. The tuck flap is held in place by a tiny gold foil seal with the Roman numeral 17 embossed onto it. As for the cards themselves, all four editions feature the exact same faces, with the minor difference of one or two ad cards, which we'll get into. Each and every card in the deck includes elements of map design drawn in behind the chunky pips, crisscrossing lines of charted courses and longitudes and latitudes. drawings of islands and land masses with sprawling coastlines and notations from map makers, ship captains, and navigators. Although the indices include a card value, the pips are not repeated in the corners. Furthering the map motif, the aces are just jaw-droppingly cool, quite possibly my favorite aces ever considering the theme of the deck, depicted as 4 pip-shaped islands with unique features and mysterious and evocative names, like Diamond Bay, the Isle of Clubs, the Heart Atoll, and my favorite, the skull-shaped Spade Island. Each ace features a named seafaring vessel and includes some additional details like sea creatures and landmarks. One of the things I love most about Lorenzo's work is his ability to inspire my imagination, and these aces certainly do that. In fact, one of the included ad cards is an image of a 5th island, the famed Eye of the Ocean itself. More accurately, an archipelago of islands shaped like an eye and featuring a secret civilization with advanced tech and a web of infrastructure and buildings and bridges connecting the land masses. And what better way to depict that elusive missing civilization than to render its inhabitants on the court cards. Featuring brilliantly designed two-way courts in Lorenzo's unmistakable style, the Eye of the Ocean court cards are simply inspiring. Each illustration depicts a mysterious and elegantly robed denizen of the Eye of the Ocean, complete with unique implements and crowns. Drawn in a subdued palette, the figures have wildly intricate headgear and clothing, examples of the highest fashion of the area. Each and every card includes smaller embedded images of the represented figure, like tiny embroidered scenes, tapestries within the design of their robes. There are some additional cards included, not jokers per se. 2 are artifacts mentioned within the text of the corresponding novel, the key-like codex and the sun disk-inspired compass called the Astrolabe. The standard editions include a blank map card which is substituted by the Quartermaster within the edition of the same name. I would be remiss if I didn't go into a bit of detail surrounding the novel. First things first, I've had a chance to read the prologue, and so far I am really enjoying the story. It's well written and dynamic and promises to keep the reader on the edge of their seat. The physical novel reward is actually very cool as well. It's designed to look like a captain's log, complete with a wrapped leather cover and a replica of the aforementioned Astrolabe compass. Additionally, the pages within are designed and laid out by Lorenzo and will feature full-page illustrations of the court cards and maps seen within the deck itself. There's also a compartment within the back of the book that allows for the inclusion of one of the Eye of the Ocean decks. It's actually a key story point. You see, in the story, the map to the fabled moving island was cut into 56 identically sized pieces. 56 cards, if you will. That's actually the only hint I've been allowed to give you towards the final aspect of the campaign. You see, there's a puzzle designed and built into the project. Solving it requires the novel and the Solis and Luné edition decks. However, there will be a prize for the first to successfully crack the secrets of the Eye of the Ocean. As you can see, the Eye of the Ocean is a beautiful, interactive, and sprawling project that is really quite extensive, and I may not have actually done it justice in this preview because there are other aspects I didn't even touch on, like a replica codex prop and some other bundles. For the best explanation of what's to come, my advice is to head on over to the Kickstarter campaign as soon as it launches to get all the info. Speaking of the launch, the Eye of the Ocean goes live at 4 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, 8th of May. That's tomorrow, if you're watching this video on the day of release. The campaign will be live for the customary 30 days, although early bird specials and limited items are sure to go fast, so be there early to get in on those. There'll be a link in the description below to the campaign page once it goes live. In the meantime, you've got a chance to win a couple of prototype Eye of the Ocean decks, one Solis and one Luné. Here's what you have to do to enter the giveaway. 1, like this video. 2, be a subscriber to this channel. And 3, let me know in a comment below what your favorite nautically themed story or book or film is. Congratulations to Bob Driftmeyer, winner of the Iron Man playing cards. Contact me via Instagram to claim your prize. To check out another amazing project by Lorenzo, check out my preview of the House of the Rising Spade. by clicking on the video that will appear right here. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I've been the Gentleman Wake. Thank you so much for watching. See you again next time.